So, as we're diving into heroic leadership and what does that mean in days of Corona and in days not of Corona, like in regular life, everyday life, in business, with your partner, with your family, what does that really mean? Let's get started with why is it even important right now?
Well, this is really an unusual time, right? I mean, this is unprecedented. We haven't seen anything like this probably ever in recent history.
Right.
And what we're seeing now is, you have two real kind of things happening. You've got people that are looking for leadership, and you've got people who are stepping up and becoming the leadership, right? So we're seeing things like, people panicking, hoarding, buying up all the
Right.
toilet paper, which I still don't understand. But that is like an animal behavior, right? Survival. They get right into survival.
Yeah.
Then you have people who come in and they step up as leaders. And we're seeing this with a lot of, the news reports we're hearing around the country, celebrities, athletes stepping up, celebrities doing live video entertaining from their homes, musicians doing impromptu concerts from their living rooms, athletes that are contributing to pay for the salaries of people that are working in the arenas who have lost their jobs. I mean, that's the kind of thing we're seeing right now. There's such an incredible dichotomy. The contrast is amazing between people stepping up to be leaders and people who are kind of floundering and looking for leadership. So that's why it's really, really important right now.
And so, I'm hearing a lot of people on social media saying hey, I feel like, I was afraid this whole time. I wanted everything to be perfect. I wanted to launch my podcast or my course, my thing. And I've been thinking about it for 2 years. But now I feel like there's a real need for leaders to step up. And I'm just not sure. Am I the leader that the world needs? So when you're working with leaders and men and CEOs and bringing people up to that level, do you hear that a lot? A lot of people are kind of is it me?
Yeah, I hear it all the time. I mean, look, I went through it myself. This was the whole beginning part of my life was I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
And I was working with other people and training them and making them into leaders and looking at myself like, oh, no, I can't do this. It's not me. So yeah, it's incredibly common. We all go through that. That's just, it's part of our journey, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but it's part of our journey to become that leader, to work yourself into that. And I think, when you said you're talking to a lot of people now and they're like, oh, I've always wanted to do my podcast, or I have this message that I want to give out. Now is the time, right? Because like I said, when things like this happen, when there's a crisis, when there's an emergency, when there's a global pandemic, you feel that stirring in here that says, this is my time. I have something to give. I have value. I have something to offer. I really need to do this. And so we'll talk today about how to kind of get yourself down that journey quicker so that you can get that message out.